Good evening and Assalamualaikum. Today our group will presentation about experimentation on the 4-ball tester by using machine coiler. So the objective is to determine the work preventive characteristic of a lubricant. In the 4-ball whirl test, the steel ball is rotated against a 3 lubricated stationary steel ball under a specific load, like speed, temperature and time as per ASTM D4172 oil. Second objective is to measure the performance of the lubricant with respect to whirl. As we know, all lubricant and lubrication technology are essential in reducing friction and whirl losses in a machine. The key inefficient of the frictional system is a lubricant. Example, grease, oil and solid lubricant. 4-ball tester, also known as a shell 4-ball tester, is used to the characteristic lubricant properties such as prevention, extreme pressure and a friction behavior. So in this experiment, to achieve our objective, we use the 4-ball is used to measure a performance of lubricant with respect to work. During the test, the upper ball is rotated against the rest of the ball are the fixed. The load is performed at fixed condition, load, temperature and speed, unlike the extreme pressure test. After the test, the whirl scar measure are performed using, for the example, optical profilometry and can be used to judge the performance of a lubricant with respect to ASTM D4172 is used to measure the whirl scar diameter of the ball bearing as well as the COF of the lubricant. So in this experiment, the test load is set to the 40 over 0.2 kilo. Whilst the temperature is set to maintain at the 75 equal to 2 degree. The better the lubricant is at preventing whirl, the smaller the whirl scar will be on the 3 stationary ball. At the conclusion of the test, the 3 whirl scar are measured, the average is reported. The coefficient of friction is also measured throughout the 60-minute test, with the average being reported at the end of the test. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, I will present and explain about methodology. Okay, methodology have preparation, control, parameter and function of experiment. Okay, for preparation have gear oil, motorcycles oil, engine 40, canola oil, brake fluid and load 40 Newton. Okay, for control parameter have 1200 RPM and function of experiment is observation the whirl scar diameter of the ball bearing using 4-ball tester machine collar. And another point is efficiency type of oil. Okay, sir, I will explain about procedure using that machine. Okay, first is clean up the parts and the ball bearing for residual oil and grease using hexane. And second is place the ball port disc into the ball port. Okay, next, place 3 clean ball bearing into the ball port assembly. Insert the ball port lock ring into the ball port assembly. Ball port lock ring is in hexagonal shape. Okay, next is tighten the ball port using the ratchet. Make sure you hear the sound click once, and then insert the fourth ball into the male ball holder chuck and use the collet master to insert the fourth ball into the holder chuck, and then push the male ball holder down using the collet master. The next is fill in 3/4 of the ball port assembly with the lubricant by using a syringe. Okay, next is insert the male ball holder into the spindle unit and place the ball port assembly onto the ball port mounting disc. And last is for ESTM D4172. The time set for the testing is 60 minutes while the load is 40 Newton. Okay, that's all for procedure or methodology for this experiment. Thank you, sir.
Next, I will be explain a discussion about the result. The result from this experiment comes with different pattern of graph and scar occur. It is depending on what type of the lubricant or oil are used because each oil has their own chemical characteristic and lubricating properties. Based on the result, the test 1 and test 3 has shown that when the gear oil used in test 1 and the area of scar that occur at all ball during using gear oil is smaller than the wear scar on all ball in test data 3 that use canola oil. It is because the gear oil which is used in test 1 are thicker more than canola oil that is used in test 3. Gear oil is a lubricant made specifically for transmission, transfer cases, and differential in automobile, trucks, and other machinery. It is of a high viscosity and usually contains organosulfur compounds, while canola oil is a vegetable oil derived from a variety of rapeseed that is low in erucic acid as opposed to colza oil. They are both edible and industrial forms produced from the seed of any several cultivars of the plant. However, although the gap between point to point friction is large, but it remains constant and stable, which does not continue to increase and does not continue to decrease, like the reading on brake oil, whose reading is higher and overshoot when the RPM is higher. The results show that vegetable oils have a higher height friction coefficient compared to brake fluid. Also, the wear scars produced by vegetable oil is slightly lower than those produced by brake fluid. It can be concluded that vegetable oils have potential as lubricant. From the graph result, the best reading record is when using 40 motorcycle engine oil. The scar formed on the 3 balls is the smallest among using other oils. The resulting graph is also more stable. It does not go too high and too far from its starting point, even if the RPM difference is applied. The graph also record the best record when the higher the RPM applied. The reading on the coefficient of friction decrease. This means that even the RPM is getting higher, the motion of the ball is remain or getting smoother. Motorcycle oil contains synthetic oil, mineral, and conventional oil, which is good in keep the surface clean and running smoother for longer. This oil give the best lubricating performance, which won't break under pressure, and it is also heat resistant. Next, the worst area of scar and friction readings recorded in this study when we're using brake fluid. 3. The scar area formed on all 3 balls was the largest compared to that occurring in other dataset. Based on the graph, the gap between the point to point friction is large, meaning the friction that occurs when the experiment is run is unstable. The friction that occurs is also large and getting larger when RPM is getting higher. Dot 3 brake fluid is a mixture of glycerin and alcohol, otherwise known as glycol, with extra additive to give it the robust characteristics that are required. This fluid is not suitable as a grease to smooth the surface, but it is used to transfer power within hydraulic machinery and equipment. This fluid is commonly used in the transfer of power. Hydraulic fluid can act as a sealant, coolant, and lubricant with the machinery and equipment. That's why the higher the RPM, the higher the reading of the coefficient of friction is different compared to biar oil, whose graph is somewhat maintained even though the RPM is higher. From the graph result, we can see that when the friction at the ball are low, the wear scar at the ball also will be low or small. The higher the coefficient of friction in the oil, the bigger the area of the wear scar will be over time. When the thick oil is used, the amount of friction from the ball surface will decrease and it will become smoother to turn. Lastly, lubricant is versatile area that think about the decrease of grinding between moving parts combining chemistry, material science and building discipline. Lubricant are typically substances used to reduce oxidation and provide insulation in transformer application. It's exceptionally critical in tribological execution in listening the wear and contact. For better understanding the characteristic, impact wear and contact between two moving surfaces, the analysis have to be analysis the response and the liquid display between the moving surface.
For conclusion, the wear and tear scar measurements are performed using, as an example, optical profilometry and might be a customer judge a performance of a lubricant with regard to wear or lubrication, and lubrication technologies are essential in reducing frictions and wear losses in machine. Then the coefficient of friction is additional measured throughout the 60-minute test, with the typical being reported at the top of the test. During this experiment, it conducted to construct the tribological testing to see the surface roundness, friction, wear, and lubricant thickness.